What is up, rockers of the Rock Nation? This is your fellow Rocker X, Rockman X, and I'm here right now with my WWE Hell in a Cell 2016 pay-per-view predictions. And before I say anything really about this pay-per-view, I feel like 3 Hell in a Cell matches is fucking overkill. Granted, I believe they did it back in like 2009, 2010. Like, it was like 2009, 2010, something like that. They had 3 Hell in a Cell matches in one night, and I remember that, and I still felt like that was an overkill then. But even now, I feel like it's even more overkill, because we just had a Hell in a Cell match this year, back in March or April, whenever WrestleMania happened. So it's like, I can understand 2 at the most, but if they're going to do 3 Hell in a Cell matches, don't do them 3 in a row. If we're going to do it, do one at the beginning, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the end of the fucking pay-per-view. Please. I don't care how people say that. That is probably the most viable thing. That way it spaces them out. And they're not. But I still feel like 3 Hell in a Cells is overkill. It's just like, I feel like to me, because of that, the Hell in a Cell has lost its magic. Granted, with the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, it lost its magic because you know, oh, it's going to happen. Oh, it's going to happen anyway. I've always enjoyed the unpredictability of Hell in a Cell, or any match for unpredictability that I used to enjoy, that I still enjoy, like TLC. I've always enjoyed unpredictability. Like, you know, like, it's these gimmick pay-per-views. I still feel like, I don't know, whatever. The point of it is, yeah. Moving on, though, with the show. I'll talk more about these matches later as it goes on. But we have the kickoff show. We got basically a Cruiserweight opening to the show, to the pre-show. We got Cedric Alexander, Lince, Dorado, and Cara versus Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and I say his name, Ariya Daivari. And honestly, I could give fuck all, and I could care so less about this kickoff match. Why? Because the Cruiserweights. Certain Cruiserweights, you could not get emotional. Like, right now, you could not get emotionally. You could not get invested. I don't say emotionally, but just right now. The way they're doing the Cruiserweights, I feel like you're not getting invested in many of them. Like, 2 you're only getting invested in. That's Brian Kendrick and TJ Perkins, and whoever TJ Perkins' allies are and whoever Brian Kendrick's allies are. I forget exactly who they are. And the rest of the Cruiserweights, honestly, I really don't feel like you can get that invested in them because of the way they're doing it. It's like, I guess that makes sense, but it's like, why don't they get, like, I understand they give the Cruiserweights their time to shine during matches, but why don't they give them more than just their matches? You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain. But as for this match, so I'm done ranting about that already because it's going to go on a long-ass tangent. I'm just going to go with Cedric Alexander, Lince Dorado, and Sin Cara to win because I really could give 2 shits who win. Overall, it's going to be a good match, but as compared to who wins, I could give 2 shits. And I will say now that most of these matches are based off personal preference, who I want to win. So, actually, pretty much all of them are this time around based off more personal preference. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. But moving on to the main show, we got one of the 2 women's matches. We got Bayley versus Dana Brooke. And ultimately, I still feel like this is going to be a good match. I mean, we got Bayley and Dana Brooke. Bayley, one of the 4 horsewomen. Dana Brooke, I don't know what to call her. I mean, she's a good athlete, but I'm just not a fan of her. I don't care even if she is from my home state, but whatever. The point of it is, I'm going to have to go with Bayley to win. So, I mean, overall, again, I feel like it's going to be a good match. It's going to be fun. I mean, it's Bayley, so obviously it's going to be kind of a fun match. And, you know, fans and cheers and all that, you know, the audience should get behind it, so, yeah. I'm just going to go with Bayley to win, because it's fucking Bayley. You can't go wrong with Bayley. So, next match, we got Enzo and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Enzo and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. Again, I can't fucking talk right now. And ultimately, why are we doing this again? For fuck sake, why are we doing this again? I really don't understand. I'm not trying to be rude, but why are we doing Gallows and Anderson versus Enzo and Cass again? I mean, granted, I guess the only way really they can keep Cass or Anderson in the spotlight, because there's hardly any tag teams. There's like 4 right there, plus the Shining Stars. The Golden Truth, there's 6. Alright, so it's like, I'm not saying it's wrong with the Golden Truth either, but it's like, it's like, I feel like there's not that many tag teams, and it's like, really, you got, I don't know, and I still don't feel like, and overall here, like, I'm going to have to say this off the bat, we all know Gallows and Anderson needs this to win, because, I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to say that's my prediction, because of the way WWE's doing with them, but we all know they need this win to even be, I mean, they basically, I'm not trying to be rude, but they basically lost all credibility, for the most part. I mean, look at how they debuted it with AJ Styles. They was, I don't want to say beasts, but initially they were beasts at that time. Now look at them. Jobbers. Literally jobbers. Hey, see a pattern there? It's like, what the fuck, WWE? What are you doing with them? Again, a lot of these you want to have rants. Probably. But, as for my personal preference of this match, I understand Gallows and Anderson most likely need this one desperately. But I'm just going to say Enzo and Cass, because it's fucking Enzo and Cass, and I like Enzo and Cass. And Enzo and Cass still need momentum. Because I'm sorry, once, I'm going to assume the New Day are going to break Demolition's record. You know, they beat Kendrick, or they beat Paul London and Brian Kendrick earlier on this year. Or, earlier on. So I feel like they're going to have them break Demolition. And once they break Demolition's, I believe it's Demolition. Maybe it's the Road Warriors. I'm pretty sure it's Demolition. Whatever. The point of it is, they're probably going to have Enzo. I'm still saying that if anyone should take the belts off the New Day, it needs to be Enzo and Cass. That's how I feel about it. If anyone should take it off of them, it should be them. And I still stick by that. So, moving on to the next match. So yeah, Enzo and Cass should win that match. Moving on, we got the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. And we just had this match on Raw, and I completely forgot who won. I believe it was Cesaro and Sheamus. I believe, maybe, I don't know. Might have been the New Day, but I'm pretty sure it's Cesaro and Sheamus that won. So, you know, either way, this is going to be, either way, I'm not going to complain about it. This is going to be a good match. I feel like this is going to be a good match, no matter who I decide who's going to win here, which you guys already know who I'm going to win. The New Day is going to pick up the win. I'm already going to say that around, but I still feel like this is going to be a good match, regardless of of who wins, really. Because I mean, Cesaro and Sheamus, as much as I don't like, I kind of like Cesaro a little bit more than Sheamus, which that might flip eventually. I don't know, but just because you got Cesaro and Sheamus, 2 of the best competitors Raw has. Again, you look at that fucking Best of 7 series match. That was a hell of Best of 7 series. So Cesaro and Sheamus, I mean, no matter what, it's going to be a hell of a match. And of course, the New Day, it's the New Day! Yes, it is! So ultimately, and you know how I feel about the New Day. I fucking love the New Day. People are like, oh, they're getting stale, whatever. Yeah, I can see where they saying they're getting stale, whatever, but what are you going to do about it? It's the New Day, you gotta love them. They're fun as fuck, and I feel like that's part of them. And I feel like they're part of the people that brings back the fun to WWE, you know? I feel like a lot of people are trying to bring a little bit of the fun back on Raw to the best capability that they can. But, you know, I have to go with the New Day to win. Because I feel like they are going to really break Demolition's record. And when they do, Enzo and Cass are going to be right there. That's how I feel about it. So, booyah. I don't know why I fucking just said booyah, but yeah. New Day wins, simple as that. Moving on, we got the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match. TJ Perkins, the one that comes out like Scott Pilgrim music, the video game music, which I enjoy, versus the Brian Kendrick. Probably one of my I want to say old school, because he's technically not old school, because he wasn't around there before, though. But as much as I enjoyed London and Kendrick, Paul London and Brian Kendrick as a tag team, I enjoy Brian Kendrick. And I'm just saying, Brian Kendrick needs this cruise. What the fuck? Yeah, someone off cam. But Brian Kendrick needs this Cruiserweight Championship at least once. At least give it to him at least once before he retires. And that's what I feel about it. Before he retires, whenever he decides to. I mean, he's 30-something, so it's probably going to be for a while. But I still feel like he needs at least one Cruiserweight title before he retires. And I feel like, right, with the revive of the Cruiserweight division, you know, give it to him now, maybe. Because everyone knows who Brian Kendrick is. That's kind of my opinion, too, why they decided to just have him feud with TJ Perkins. And pretty much everyone knows who knows WWE knows who Brian Kendrick is. And I just feel like, and again, I'm a Brian Kendrick fan. I mean, I like TJ Perkins, but I would love seeing Brian Kendrick win. I really would. Maybe that's just me as a fan of the old school days when, you know, tag team champion, stuff like that. And hell, his tag team record's been broken, so give him at least that something. Make him the second ever Cruiserweight champion. I don't want to say second ever, but second ever new Cruiserweight champion, I should say. I don't know, it's hard to explain that, really. But, again, I feel like this is going to be a good match. I mean, TJ Perkins is, like, the more high flyer of the two. Brian Kendrick is the more kind of grounded Cruiserweight. But, ultimately, I still feel like, no matter what, this is going to be a good match. And I felt like maybe I didn't say it then, but I still feel like this match could be a good match, regardless. So, I'm going to go with Brian Kendrick winning. Brian Kendrick winning. I can't fucking talk. So, Brian Kendrick for new Cruiserweight champion. Now, moving on, we have the last, I guess you could say, the 3 main events. The 3 Hell in a Cell matches is overkill. And as I already said, that's overkill. But if we're going to do it, then again, they only have one in the beginning, one in the middle, one at the end. I'm not going to complain about it. I mean, maybe just I missed the surprise of Hell in a Cell. That's because it's gimmick pay-per-view when we had one back during WrestleMania. But I already said all that. So I had to reiterate that. But we have the first one. We have the United States Championship match, Hell in a Cell. The champion, Roman Reigns, is going in against Rusev. And obviously, this one's probably not going to be the one they go all out on. I really hope they don't go all out. Especially since the United States one's probably going to be the first one. That or the Women's Championship match. I don't know. But, I'll get more of that here in a second. And I completely forgot to write that down, so I need to fix that later. Sorry, I was thinking, yeah. But we have the United States, actually, I should probably write that down. The United States Hell in a Cell match, Roman Reigns, the champion, versus challenger Rusev. Ultimately, I'm going to just say this right now. I do, and I probably will enjoy this match. Why? Because I am enjoying, I don't know. I'm trying to think how to explain this, like, there. Sorry, I had to, like, type something in and fix it. Because I like this run that WWE has given Roman Reigns initially as United States Champion. Why? Because I fucking hate Rusev. I'm sorry, people. I know there's people out there that like Rusev, but just fuck Rusev. I'm sorry. Especially that segment, like, oh, meet the Rusev family on Raw. Either was it this past week or week before. Well, that was just, why is the point in that segment? It's like, it was, literally, it's like, I barely paid attention to it until Roman Reigns came out. But, mainly just because, too, I don't want Rusev champion, and I feel like this match I'm more invested in, I guess you could say. And ultimately, I really do want Roman Reigns to still be your United States champion tonight, so. But, here's the thing, I do feel like no matter what, it's going to be a good match, and hopefully they beat each other senseless. And I don't want to say that, but you get my point. Like, hopefully it's just going to be a good, competitive, back and forth contest, whatever the hell you want to say. And I feel like Roman Reigns is going to win this. So, I'm going with Roman Reigns to be United States Champion at the end of that match. So, Roman Reigns still United States Champion. Simple as that. Moving on, we have your WWE Universal Championship Hell in a Cell match. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. A match that I'm kind of invested in, kind of not invested in. I guess it depends how you look at it, because again, I don't know. Basically, I could honestly care less about this match. It's like, it's bad when you're more invested with the mid-card match, the mid-card championship, over the main event championship, but it's like, yeah, you know, it's like whatever. I mean, the main reason why, too, honestly, I'm being straight honest, the main reason why I've been paying attention to this feud has been because of Chris Jericho. Because it's Chris motherfucking Jericho. And I'm not a big fan of Kevin Owens. I'm not a big fan of Seth Rollins. You know, I mean, it's kind of sad because, like, when it comes to the Shield, mine goes Dean, Seth, and Roman. And right now, I'm more invested with Roman over Seth, but again, I'm not the biggest fan of Seth Rollins there is. Like, I like Rollins. I like what he does in the ring and shit. Mr. Hurts Everyone. I'm sorry, but no. Ultimately, though, I would just really rather see Seth pick up the win here. So, I mean, I still feel like this is going to be a good match regardless, because all these matches that involves either Seth or Owens, Seth and Jericho, somewhere where Jericho comes into play, somewhere was like a triple threat match on Raw. That was another good match, I thought. Maybe that's just me though. You know, like, I really feel like it is kind of Jericho keeping the glue together on this. I really do, and that says something. Sadly, but I'm not saying it's a bad feud. I'm not saying it's a good feud. It's kind of just like whatever to me. But I'm going to have to say that I really do want Seth Rollins to win here just because. I mean, again, it's Seth Rollins. I mean, people are going to be like, oh, Kevin Owens just won the title. Kevin Owens should retain. Yeah, you're probably right. But again, I'm not the biggest fan of Owens, so I'm just going to say Rollins. Because based on personal preference, I kind of want Rollins to be champion again. But people are going to be bitchy about that. So, yeah. But I'm still going Rollins. Even though it's probably a completely wrong prediction. But Rollins is going to win his house on a match. Now, whatever. Moving on to what most people are going to say, what rumor has is going to be the main event for Hell in a Cell. And if this match is the main event, I'm going to say this right now. They need to let these competitors go all out. Not just some typical women's match. You know, they're going to go all out. If for some reason they break out of the cell, let them break out of the cell. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just let them go all out in this Hell in a Cell match. You know, if they climb to the top of the cell, they're climbing to the top of the cell. You know, just let them go all out. Let them do a Hell in a Cell match right. Don't go in half-cocked. Well, I gotta do this half-cocked. I had to do cock fists, but, you know. Don't let them go in half-cocked. If they're going to go in, let them fucking go in all out, beat the shit out of each other, break out of the cell if possible. You know, climb to the top. What the fuck? Use weapons even. Fucking chairs, sledgehammer. What? Well, I'm saying sledgehammer for an example, but, you know, chairs. Something in this Hell in a Cell environment. You know, just let these women go all out. Let them do it like the men. That's going to sound dumb to say, but yeah, let these women do it like the men would. We have the Raw Women's Championship match, Hell in a Cell. The champion, Sasha Banks, versus the challenger, Charlotte. And ultimately, I am starting to... People are going to go, Sasha Banks is a bad champion. Oh, Charlotte. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Charlotte. I like Banks over Charlotte any day. But I have never denied that Charlotte's a hell of a competitor. I have never denied Sasha Banks a hell of a competitor. You know, Sasha Banks finally got the title back after the injury or whatever. You know, they gave it to Charlotte again and whatever. You know, I was kind of pissed about that because, like, fuck Charlotte. You know, she had... I'm not trying to sound stupid, but it's like she's had the championship since... The Women's Championship since WrestleMania, but she had... technically had the championship since long before WrestleMania. And I can't remember exactly when she got it. I remember she went off Nikki Bella, but it's like... With all these women challenging her for it, couldn't they have gave it to someone else at that time? You know, and then Sasha Banks stepped up, and they gave it, and they got her versus Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks won it, then she lost it again, and Charlotte was champion. Up until last pay-per-view, which I believe was Clash of Champions, I'm going to go on this, yeah. A month later, Sasha versus Charlotte again, this time inside the Hell in a Cell, the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell match at that. Man, it's a lot of words I just said. And ultimately, I want fucking Sasha Banks to retain this title. Because, I'm sorry, if they decide to give it back to Charlotte already after a month, after a few weeks even, fuck that. And I'm going to say this. Why? Because I feel like... And I'm going to say this because I feel like if they do that, the title is not going to... The women's title is not going to mean anything. All these back and forth flips and rude. Granted, that is kind of contradictory to what I said about the belt having to come off Charlotte. But that was back when she was doing Dana Brooke to win and her father to win, stuff like that. I'm like, fuck that. The belt needs to come off her because of that shit. The whole heel needing help to win initially. And I know people are going to bitch on me for saying that, but it's kind of true, and that's how I felt, and I still feel like that way. So, yeah. And with Sasha Banks, I like Banks being the champion over Charlotte too. So it's like, fuck, you know. Oh, man, I just went on a long ass rant. But either way, Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, it's going to be a good competitive match. I feel like, you know, their matches are generally beast as hell. I don't say beast as hell. I keep wanting to say beast, but are good as hell matches that are going to be fun to enjoy for anyone at that. And I feel like this is going to be true. I mean, it's the women's match, and if this is the main event on a pay-per-view as well, that's going to make it 10 times better, especially if they let them go all out and do it how the men would do it. And that's just me saying this because they need to do that. Don't let the women go in half-cock. Have them go all out and have fun with it and let them do it like the men. Wow. But as for my pick to win this match, I've said it multiple times, but to finalize it, it is Sasha motherfucking Banks. The boss. The boss beats the queen. Wow. I'm so dumb. But yeah. Hope you got... that's all for this. I know a lot of these are long-winded rants. I practically said the same thing constantly, but it's whatever. So, yeah. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. And until next time, guys, live free and rock.